Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Erik Ten Hag is shocked that he's not been offered a contract by Manchester United after promising talks. Man United are planning to offer Erik Ten Hag a 5-year contract. Erik Ten Hag is the favourite to become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Not so long ago, Ten Hag got interviewed for the Manchester United job, and he came through the interview with flying colours. Erik Ten Hag is ready to leave Ajax at the end of this season. The Ajax CEO, Edwin van der Sar, will not stand in Erik Ten Hag's way if he asks to make a move to Manchester United. Rangnick wants Erik Ten Hag to become Man United's next manager, and a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see him get recommended in. It'd be good for Ten Hag to come and experience the Premier League because he's not yet managed in the Premier League. And I think if he became Man United's next manager, he would suit the strappings of the club, he'd get the best out of these group of players, and he would be capable of winning trophies. Ten Hag has done well at Ajax. He's won some Dutch Cups with them, won a couple of Eredivisie titles, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. So there you go, Ten Hag got appointed in as the Ajax manager back in December 2017, so he's been the manager of Ajax for over 4 years. His contract expires next year. Mauricio Pochettino, he's still linked with the managerial role at Man United. As you all know, the vast majority of Manchester United players want Mauricio Pochettino as the next manager. Pochettino is waiting for a decision on his future. He said the other week that Man United may have run out of time to appoint Pochettino as PSG cost became clear. He says PSG may have to pay around 17 million to sack Pochettino. Pochettino though is happy at PSG. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. 4 permanent managers have been sacked since Ferguson, even though Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. Ralph Rangnick, he's Manchester United's interim manager at the moment. He's been Manchester United's interim manager for over 3 months. It initially said that he's Man United's interim manager till the end of the season, then it said he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years, but the consultancy role is now in doubt. Rangnick has lost 4 games in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. Earlier on this season, he said Rangnick wanted the permanent Man United job. The other week, he said Manchester United were considering sacking Ralph Rangnick. You know, there's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well, but he's been totally blameless for the poor performances. The players have had to take responsibility for the poor performances. I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. You know, he's a very good coach, like I've said numerous times before. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick has endured one transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Unfortunately, Rangnick didn't get backed in the January transfer window this year. Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window because obviously Man United didn't make any signings. We should have let the likes of Lingard and Henderson leave, but we blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January. On the other side of things though, Man United let around 8 players leave in January. Man United's focus now for this season is to finish in the top 4. You know, Rangnick said earlier on this season that Man United's aim for this season is to finish in the top 4. We can't win a trophy this season. You know, Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. You know, in the last 10 years, Manchester United have only won 4 trophies. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Manchester United have spent over 1.3 billion. We've brought over 40 odd players in since Ferguson retired. You know, Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. You know, none of this squad is Rangnick's. The Glazers, they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. I said we need to get the Glazers out. You know, the Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years. The Glazers bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Revert back to a couple of weeks ago now, he said the Glazers were planning to demolish Old Trafford. You know, as Man United looked to upgrade the stadium. Man United have played in the same stadium for 112 years. So it basically said Man United are looking to increase the capacity to around 80,000 at the moment. Old Trafford holds around 75,000. Old Trafford is the second biggest stadium in England. Wembley's the biggest. So do you think Old Trafford should be demolished? Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold got appointed in as the new chief executive. He replaced Ed Woodward. It was good news from a Man United perspective that Woodward stepped down earlier on this year, because Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. You know, he was accountable for how poor our recruitment policy was. Woodward was at Manchester United for around 17 years. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. Being linked with a lot of players. I recently give you the news on Declan Rice. You know, the Daily Mail said that Man United were leading the race to sign Declan Rice. West Ham have slapped a 150 million asking price on Declan Rice. We've been linked with Ruben Neves from Wolves as well. We've been linked with Milinkovic Savic. You know, Man United will sign a midfielder in the summer, I reckon. I think we'll also try and sign a striker. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club this summer. There's still Deadwood in the squad. Cavani, he will be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Like I updated you earlier on today, it's said that Cavani is close to agreeing a move to Real Sociedad. He's held talks with Real Sociedad. Cavani's also been linked to the move to Brazil. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Earlier on this season he had a groin injury. He's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. Martial, I think we could let him go permanently this summer. Martial's out on loan with Sevilla at the moment. I also think Van der Beek could leave permanently this summer. You know, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton at the moment. Lingard will leave in the summer. Lingard should have left in January, but Man United blocked his exit like I've already mentioned so many times. Lingard's out of contract in the summer. He has been part of the club for a long time. He was up our academy and that, but he doesn't really get in the team. Second half of last season he enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Marcus Rashford, you know, he could be departing the club this summer. Sources close to Football Insider have mentioned that Marcus Rashford has told his friends that he wants to quit Man United. I'm hearing that Arsenal are interested in him. Barcelona are interested in him. Real Madrid, PSG and Atletico Madrid have also been interested in Rashford. So Rashford's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Fabrizio Romano did mention earlier on this season that Marcus Rashford was considering his future with Man United as he was concerned about his lack of playing time. Rashford, you know, he's a good player overall, but he has enjoyed a lot of poor games this season. A lot of Man United fans, including me, have said that Rashford has not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem, and earlier on this season he had a minor leg injury. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. He has been part of the football club for a long time, you know, came up our academy, been a United player since the age of 7 and broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Matic, I'm expecting him to leave Manchester United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer, and Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that he has been given his opportunities. He is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. I've always had my reservations about Matic, as you all know. Man United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017, got him for 40 million. So Matic has been at Man United for over 4 years now. Juan Mata, he'll leave Manchester United as well in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Mata has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Don't forget Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. Paul Pogba, very good chance that he'll be departing the club in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Not so long ago, it did mention that Pogba was in talks with 2 Premier League clubs, with his contract set to end at the end of this season. Real Madrid, Juventus and PSG have also been interested in Pogba, so he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Earlier on this season, Pogba's trainer claimed that he will leave Old Trafford. You know, Pogba is a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. You know, he's had his good games this season. Earlier on this season he was out with injury for a while. Well, he's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so you can say he's injury prone. You know, Paul Pogba is Man United's most expensive signing at the moment because Manchester United paid £89 million for him. This season has been his 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Jones and Bailly also expecting them to leave in the summer because they don't really get in the team. Maguire will leave in the summer. Revert back to last week, the Manchester Evening News said that Man United are prepared to sell Harry Maguire. You know, Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. You know, Man United certainly overpaid for him. We paid £80 million for him. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. You know, Maguire's been at Man United for over 2 years and he's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. I can't understand how he's still captain. A lot of Manchester United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off him. Well, earlier on this season, Rangnick actually said that Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. We could look to sell Wan-Bissaka in the summer as well. Wan-Bissaka, he's not good enough and he's not our first choice right back under Rangnick. You know, Diego Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. And Henderson, he will leave Man United in the summer because he's our second choice goalkeeper. Henderson doesn't get in goal much because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson has only made 3 appearances this season. He is a good keeper, Henderson, don't get me wrong. And on the video I did earlier on today, I gave you the news on Luke Shaw. Like I said, Luke Shaw spoke after England's 2-1 win against Switzerland, and Shaw's mentioned that he prefers playing for England than Man United. So does that indicate that Luke Shaw could possibly leave Man United in the summer or next year? You know, people are saying Shaw's only had 1 good season at Man United, and Shaw's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player, and I think Shaw's enjoyed a lot of poor games this season for Man United. He was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Earlier on this season had quite a few injuries. Well, Luke Shaw's injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his current contract. So there you go. Manchester United's next game is Leicester City at Old Trafford. It's this Saturday, the 2nd of April. It is a 5:30 kick-off. The preview will be coming up for that game probably this Wednesday. You know, Manchester United lost the last game to Atletico Madrid 1-0. But Man United won the last league game against Tottenham 3-2. You know, Ronaldo did score a hat-trick in that game. It was his first hat-trick since he re-signed for the club. And he became the highest scorer in football history. But yeah, will be a tough game against Leicester this Saturday. You know, Leicester have not been as good this season as they have been in recent seasons, but Look at the players that Leicester have got. They've got Harvey Barnes, that's good. Iheanacho, very good attacking player. Jamie Vardy. Don't forget, Jamie Vardy risen up from non-league football. He's emulated to the level that he's at now. James Maddison, he's a very good attacking midfielder. Man United were linked with him a long time ago. Leicester got James Maddison from Norwich. They paid around £20 million. Youri Tielemans, he's a very good midfielder. Man United have been linked with Youri Tielemans, so too have Arsenal. Youri Tielemans has said that he's eager to play in the Champions League. I think Youri Tielemans is Leicester's most expensive signing. Leicester got him for around 40 million. Well, at one point, Tielemans was out on loan with Leicester, but then obviously Leicester decided to get him permanently. Leicester got him from Monaco. Wilfred Ndidi, he's a very good holding midfielder, and Man United have been linked to Wilfred Ndidi before. They've got James Justin as well. Leicester got him from Luton. Mark Albrighton's good. He's out with injury at the moment. They've got Ryan Bertrand. Leicester got him from Southampton. Ryan Bertrand is out for the season with injury. Ricardo Pereira, he's another good player Leicester have got. They've got Boubakary Soumaré, Patson Daka, Lookman, he's good. Luke Thomas. Leicester have Johnny Evans. Don't forget, Johnny Evans is a former Manchester United player. Johnny Evans did endure 7 years at Manchester United at one point. If Evans plays this Saturday, he'll be reuniting with Man United. They've got Kagler Soyuncu, he's a defender. Wesley Fofana, he's a good defender. They've got Timothy Caskini. Marty, they've got him. Chaudhary. Leicester's first choice goalkeeper is Kasper Schmeichel. They've got another goalkeeper called Danny Ward. Danny Ward, I think, is out with injury. So there you go. Let me put into the equation that Leicester have lost players. They lost Ben Chilwell to Chelsea. They lost N'Golo Kante and Danny Drinkwater to Chelsea. Chelsea have done good business with Leicester before. Back in 2018, they lost Riyad Mahrez to Man City. They lost Harry Maguire to us back in the summer of 2019, but Leicester did get £80 million for him. I think they also lost Pryor. So there you go. Leicester City's manager is Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers at Leicester has won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Brendan Rodgers has been the Leicester manager for quite a few years now. He's got a contract to Leicester until 2025. Before Leicester, Brendan Rodgers managed Celtic. He enjoyed quite a few years with Celtic, won quite a few trophies with them. Before then, managed Liverpool. He was at Liverpool a few years. He enjoyed one good season with Liverpool, did Rodgers. Before as well, managed Swansea. A long time ago, managed Reading, Watford, and he managed Chelsea's youth once. Don't forget Rodgers has been linked with a managerial role at Man United. Before Brendan Rodgers, Leicester had Claudio Puel. They did sack him, and before then they had Claudio Ranieri. Don't forget Leicester won the Premier League under Claudio Ranieri. But Claudio Ranieri did get sacked. You know, Leicester won at Old Trafford last season 2-1. We heavily rotated in that game though. And Leicester beat us at the King Power Stadium earlier on this season 4-2. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.